Mark, we're going live. You're coughing. I told you not to take that hit before it went on there. Man, I've had one busy weekend, and you asked me what we're doing on the show tonight, and I said, what show?
Yeah, that was what, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you came up with a mountain of work for me to do.
That's what I normally do, ain't it?
Yeah. Well,
I brought your apprentice on, though.
Oh, well, hang on. Hey, Spence.
Hey, y'all.
Spencer's learned more about audio in the last 6 months than I have in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Spencer's good at it.
He's better than me.
Let's not get carried away.
Well, I tell you, I hope we can pull this off. 2 minutes before we went on the air, I realized that this yard dog will not stream the audio of a different file. So you might need to refrain. You might need to remind your co-host that you're listening to now to refrain from profanity whenever
Spencer,
the train.
No cussing, Spencer.
Okay.
Well, tell the fine folks what you're planning on doing tonight.
Well, Shelly messaged us this morning and said, y'all guys need to read the emails. We had some emails come in, and we don't do a very good job of going and reading the emails, but Shelly does. So she lets us know. And and I didn't even listen to the audio. I was working today. And I asked Larry tonight about 6 o'clock, what are we gonna talk about on the show? And he said that audio that got sent. So I had to go listen to the audio real quick. And what we thought we would do is kind of do a live pictorial of this audio that we received. And one thing that I want to mention is anytime anybody sends us anything, it is just between me, Larry, and Shelly. It is not shared. And so the person that sent us this vocalization, we went and asked for her permission that we could play it. Right. And so we will not ever share anything or send any type of evidence that anybody sends us without the person that captured the evidence permission, because it's their property, and it's not for us to borrow or lend anything that does not belong to us.
And this vocalization is a vocalization of an animal that she feels could be a Bigfoot mimicking. So we thought it would be good to show how Mark and Spencer can chime in, because he does audio too, but show how they go about putting it up to analyze, breaking it down, putting it on a spectrogram, and what they're looking for. A lot of people ask how you go through that process, and hopefully through the beauty of StreamYard, or Yard Dog, as Mark calls it, we can at least let you have a glimpse of the process and see if it's Spencer's process or not. Ain't that right, Spencer?
That's exactly right.
Are you going to critique Mark as he goes through these steps?
So much I can't hardly wait.
All right.
Okay. Let me I'm going to have to pull up.
Uh-oh. Dead air.
Yeah, y'all talk amongst yourselves while I try to figure this out.
Okay.
All right. Spencer, you been out any?
Only 2 times in the past month. It's gotten hot up here, and everything is greened up a whole lot. That and I'm busy on the job, but I just between the heat and not having a whole lot of opportunity, I haven't been highly motivated in the past month. It's been the hot and the ticks and the chiggers and the snakes and everything. It's not my time of year to be real active.
Or for the ticks and the chiggers, there's a suit called a rhino suit. It's real. Yeah, it's a tick suit. And you can wear it under your clothes. It's real thin nylon like.
Seriously?
Huh. Yeah. And it's real breathable. Whenever it's real hot, it lets the air in. Of course, you're going to sweat, but it gets wet, and the air that hits you cools you. But it keeps the ticks and chiggers off of you. So
anything that'll keep chiggers off is a godsend.
Ooh, you ain't lying. And we have those seed ticks around LVL. So
yeah, we have those up here, and they're horrible. I mean, like even in my front yard and backyard, if you walk outside for 10 minutes, you're going to pick 2 or 3 ticks off of you when you get back in.
The problem with that suit, you can buy gloves and you can buy socks that go with it. The socks made out of nylon. Whenever you're walking, your foot slides in your shoe.
Yeah.
But if you don't wear your socks and you're wearing cotton socks or something, those seed ticks will go right through them and eat up your ankles. They won't get anywhere else, but they'll get all over your feet. And
I'll tell you,
it's not nice.
I'll tell you something interesting I found just last week. I got my thermal out to mess with it because where it's got hot out, I wanted to see, what the difference was looking into the woods with it. And I can only see about half as far now because everything is so warm and there's so much greenery on everything.
Right.
But everything is a little bit blurrier. I guess just everything gives off radiant heat. Everything is a little bit blurrier. And we tested looking through the black plastic contractor bags. We tested that whenever it was fairly cold out. Well, I was holding one up and looking through it, and now that it's warm out, you can see through it, but everything is so blurry beyond 30, 40 yards that it's almost indistinguishable. So at least that's how it is on mine. So that's something to take note of. The thermals just they can't do as well in the summer as they can whenever it's cooler out is the point.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense from the humidity levels and all that, the natural heat. Look at Mark. He's just ready to go. He is so excited. Which one do you want me to do? The previous one you shared or the newest one?
The newest one.
All right, here we go.
That's the wrong one.
That's the newest one.
Do the other one then.
All right, here we go.
Okay. The audio will not play on this, but tell me, Larry, if you can see my cursor.
Yes.
Do you hear anything?
Nope. I hear a train. It's wrecking right now.
Okay. What I'm going to do is the audio file that Carrie sent me is I listened to it through and picked out 4 of the owls. Now, one thing that I like to do is we're on Audacity. I uploaded the file. I'm going to take the cursor and come over here on the left side.
Wait a second. Patrick just gave you $20. You must be doing something right.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay. So I've highlighted that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the effects button, and I am going to hit high bypass. I've got it set at 1200, and I'm going to click OK, and we see how it drops down a little bit.
Now, what did that do, Mark?
That took out any of the hertz frequencies that are over 1200.
All right.
Okay. That's a good way if you want to cut out crickets. Yes. Now I'm going to go down to the low bypass, and I'm going to click it. I've got it set at 400, and I'm going to click it, and we see that this is what it looks like. Now, since this yard dog will not play the audio off this, what I'm going to do is, let's just say, for example, that right here where my cursor is where I want to capture audio and save it. So I will click here. You can also blow this up if you need to blow it up larger. And then you can take your cursor to right here. And let's say right here is what we want to analyze. Then once we've highlighted that, we can play that. And you see it only plays what is highlighted. And that is what we want to save. So in order to save it, I'm going to come over here with the cursor to File. I'm going to come to Export, and I'm going to export selected audio. If I just did export audio or export as an MP3 or whatever, that it would save the whole file. And I don't want to do that. I just want to save the captured audio. Then it pulls it up, and I can save it in a box. I can save it to my desktop. Your desktop is one of your easiest places to find something. And so then I would sit here and let's just name this Carry 1. So this will be the first one that's saved, and I'm just going to cancel that out. Now, after we save that, let's say right here is the next one that we want to save. We just left click on the cursor, and let's say this is our selected audio. We can go up here to this magnifying plus, and we can blow it up. We can play it. And let's say we want to adjust it a little bit. You can take your cursor to the little finger comes up, and you can move it back. Play it again. That's what we want. And then you just repeat this whole process of going to File, Export, Select audio and bring it up. And let's say we name this one Harry 2.
All right.
And
I
we'll
just
cancel.
hope you don't get them files mixed up with them dirty files you got saved on your computer.
the ones that are called
No.
the ones that are called Debbie's special pictures.
That's right.
I'm glad she's in Texas, because if she was in Tennessee, I could see this curtain behind me opening up with a skillet sticking through.
She'll be here this weekend. And she remembers stuff. She ain't like me.
Yeah, she don't forget nothing. I'm gonna get popped for that.
Spencer, so far, is Mark doing it the way you would do it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I use noise reduction and amplify a whole lot, and I zoom in quite a bit, but and he might do it that way too. He might have just been running through a real quick breakdown on what he does. But yeah, whenever I want to look at a specific spot on there, that's exactly how I do it.
Well, you taught him something, Mark.
Well, noise, you can take that. Let's see. Let me.
Let's not get too advanced with it.
Hold on. There we go. Okay. Now, noise reduction has its applications to use. You have to be very, very careful with how you use noise reduction, because if you try to take out too much of it, then you will it will give it a metallic sound. And so and when you if you got a manipulated metallic sound to it, then it is going to mess up your frequency signatures whenever you throw it on the sonic visualizer. Makes sense?
It does to me. Spencer's lost. It's like you started quoting algebra and calculus.
I'd have to see it. I'd have to see exactly what he's talking about. I use it whenever I'm listening to audio and I find something that could possibly be something, and I'm going to isolate it.
Yeah.
That's whenever I do it. And I keep the noise reduction level low. I only do, I set mine for about 12. And I normally don't have the low pass and high pass filter on while I'm just listening to audio before I find something.
Yeah.
So then I will do the noise reduction most of the time, so I can zero in on that frequency, that signature of what I'm listening to. And then I'll go back and clear everything out. And sometimes I'll amplify it and then put the low pass and high pass filter on to try and make it kind of its purest form without any artificial stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll tweak it for myself to look at it, but I never leave anything adjusted whenever I show it to people or present it to anyone, because it can throw the sound off. It can distort it, and it can make it seem more vibrant than what it is in real life. And I think you need to take it in context. You need to take it the way that it comes, on your recorder to be able to appreciate it and understand how it's working in the real world and everything. But I'm sure we all do it a little bit different, but we all use the same tools for the most part the same way.
Here's what I do different. I download the file and I clip out the part I want Mark to look at, and I send it to him. And that's as far as I know. Now, Cryptidville said you might be doing a disservice to the low in that low pass filter. Is that because some of the vocals could be below that range?
They could be, but you can adjust that filter to what you want. Now, what I recommend is after you do your targeted audio and you save it as an original file.
Yeah.
And then you can pull up Audacity again and load that file, and then you can play with your filters.
Don't play with your filters. You'll go blind. Debbie Jones, Mark's gonna get a butt kicking.
Well, I was hoping Debbie hadn't logged on yet.
Yeah, I don't really understand all the filter stuff. I just go for what I'm looking for. And that's about it. But
you want to make small adjustments, like where Spencer was talking about the noise reduction, and he has his set at 1200. I set mine actually at 300 and take it up in increments. What I will do is I will do it at 300, and if 300's not enough, then I'll take it up to, then I'll repeat it and take it up to 600. If 600 isn't enough, then I'll take it to 900, and then I'll take it to 1200. You can always go back and undo any change that you make on it. And you definitely want to be listening with headphones whenever you do this. I mean, you can buy I would recommend studio headphones, and I mean, you can pick those up for $30 off Amazon. And but you just want to be careful that you don't over manipulate the audio, and always save your original one.
Spencer, had questions for you.
Every chance I get.
Mike's Adventure asked this question to Mark.
he can, but don't make him.
What I will say is, I put together a little pictorial, and it's on our Beast page, and of how to load an audio clip on Audacity and how to trim it to where you're just capturing what you want to put back on there and listen and play with the filters with. Yes, JD, that's very true. And one good thing about Audacity is it always saves your original file. You can download a file and upload it, and you can manipulate it 1,000 different ways and screw it up. But your original file will be saved, and you could just X that out and start all over.
All right, Mark, let's go on to the next step before Spencer's coffee wears off.
Okay. Why don't you... I'm going to turn it, this volume, some reason when I do that recording thing, it plays it loud. There's 4 owl hoops that I put on here that I went in, I clipped them, saved them. I didn't do any noise reduction. I just did high bypass and low bypass filters. The high bypass was at 1200, and the low bypass, I believe, was 300.
All right.
And so play that other clip, Larry, and
There
let's
you
see
go.
if it plays. Okay, that was 4 different clips. Now, y'all talk amongst yourselves while I mute my mic so I don't say any profanity. And, and I am going to pull up the sonic visualator, and we're going to put it on there. I don't think that we're going to be able to hear these clips on the sonic visualator, but it's not near as important to hear it as to see what it is.
All right. That's a good point. I'm going to remove that. And Spencer, through all this process, what's some of the more interesting things you've caught as you looked at audio?
Well, first, let me make a point that follows on what he just said about pulling up the visual version of the audio. The reason why I normally do a noise reduction level between like 9 and 12 right off the get-go on a suspected area. Now, most of the time you're listening to the audio in its raw form, and whenever you hear something catches your attention, and you stop and you zoom in on that. Like what the process I go through is I'll stop, I'll highlight that area, I'll expand it so that you can see it really well on the spectrograph. Part of the reason why I do the noise reduction right off the get-go higher like that is because it will, if I'm already zoomed in looking at it, I'm not necessarily listening to it as much as I am looking at the signature and everything. And whenever you apply the noise reduction, then you're kind of whitewashing the background noise away, and you're focused on that one thing. So I'm looking at it visually at that point, trying to see if it matches the signature and everything. But anyway, there's a bunch of tricks. You got to be careful with all of the filters, but
Right.
The visual is just as important on this stuff as the audio is. The visual, you have to make sure it's in that range, and you can tell by what it looks like. And I mean, that tells you just as much.
There's been a lot of times in the field that we've been fooled by mimics or the real thing and look at it on a spectrogram and see.
Even on a spectrogram, you're still going back and finding other things that are from the known source, and you're looking at it and trying to compare it. And for the most part, like on the owls, for example, on the owls on a spectrograph, it pretty much looks like an upside down V if it's just a regular hoot. Well, a whoop can look similar to that too, depending on how quick it is.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no doubt in my mind that they can make an owl call. It's just that they can't do the fine little stuff like the trill or whatnot, or maybe they can, but they don't. And it's still confusing. You still have to really look at it and pay attention.
Right. All right, Mark.
Okay, Larry, I think Yard Dog only allows me to share 2 screens.
Well, let's remove one then.
I just did. And
You did?
I did.
You can't beat Yard Dog. The Spencer, keep on talking while he's talking. Did you get through with your thought before we interrupted you?
Yeah.
All right.
So, some of the more I mean, I've caught all kinds of stuff. Like whenever I first started doing recordings, just to be able to put them on Audacity and try to learn how to do all this stuff, I knew that we had coyotes in this area.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're close. I didn't know that they were 30, 40 feet from my backyard.
Right.
Or like owls doing the, I can't think of what they call it, cat or something, where they do the noise that kind of sounds like monkeys laughing. I've never heard that in person, but I captured a recording of it. I've captured bobcats, foxes.
What do you mean monkeys laughing?
The owls, whenever they do that caterwauling or whatever it's called, I can't think of the name of it. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Actually, that is a bar owl, and it is the mating call of the bar owl. And I hear them in my woods. And I tell you, it sounds just like you got a bunch of monkeys out there.
Well, whenever you're hanging out at the bar all night getting drunk, you ain't got no choice. All right, Mark, are you ready or are you not ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you share this new one?
There it goes.
Okay.
No porn.
Okay, can you see it? I got a delay. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Here we go.
Now, let's see. Why don't you blow that up for there you go. Okay. What I am going to do is I am going to take my arrow key and I'm going to make this a little larger. Now, let me know if y'all hear this play. It's not playing.
Nope.
Okay. What I will do is I will go up to pane and I want to add the spectrogram. And I only want to add one channel. I don't need two channels. You'll have two channels if you're recording in stereo. So I hit this. We can see this pops up. Now, I have not looked at this on the spectrogram. We did this on the fly. And so we're going to see what this looks like. You can kind of see this is the first recording, the second recording, the third recording, and the fourth recording. And I just clipped out the owls. Now, what I will do is I will go up here on the right where it says color. I usually start off with sunset, and I'm going to hit sunset.
That's so pretty.
Then I go to scale, and it's at dBV, and I want to take it to dBV2, which is one up from dBV. Okay, so we see that looks better. The window you want to set at 4,006 or whatever it is. And we set that. And so we've cleared it up a little bit more. Up here on scale at none. Right below it at window. It's at 50%. We're going to take it up to 96%. Now, here's our bang for the buck. If you look over here, you see the hertz starts off at 0 and it goes up to 7,000. Okay. We want to drop this down. We have not found anything. I don't know of any audio people that have found any frequency signatures that are above 2,000. So we will take it from 8,000. Let me cancel that. What I did was I took my cursor and I went right here on this bar and I double click it and it pulls up this box. You see our hurt.
Like advanced geometry.
So our hurt starts off at little below 8. And it goes up to 8,000, which up here is 8,000. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to click it, and I'm going to take it off. I'm going to remove the 8, and I'm just going to put 2. And click OK. Oh, Larry.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me enlarge this. This is not what I'm expecting to see.
That's what she said. It's a booger house.
Uh-huh.
I know that y'all not going to be able to hear this, but I'm just going to go up here and hit the play button. Let's see. Let me take it to the beginning. And these are the 4 clips. You see right there, right here, right here, and right here. Right here was like the sound of something like
she was unloading her truck.
Yeah. All right. Let's just pull up these first 3.
And
now,
what I failed to tell you was she had a possible sighting. Or she thought she had a brief sighting before this. I was trying to hold that out so it didn't skew what you were seeing or doing.
Okay. Up here, a box comes up. You put this cursor anywhere on here, and you get a lot of information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to right here. And if y'all are able to see that, where it says bend frequency.
You might have to blow it up some more.
I don't think I can.
Oh, all right.
It actually says 371 to 345. And this is where I've got the cursor. I just laid the cursor on top of it. Wow. I'm kind of blown away from this. This is why it's so important that these people, that when we post videos and we show the bend frequencies and we believe that it is a booger because of these frequency signatures, and it never fails. Somebody will always say, that's a coyote. What? And we do the video so that we explain the difference in between a coyote frequency and what we believe is a booger's signature frequency. And every time somebody will put in the comments, that's a coyote, and it just makes me want to grab them by the nape of the head and drag them all over a parking lot and say, what part of this do you not understand? I explained it in the video so that you could see it. But gosh, Larry, Miss Carrie, in my humble opinion, I would say that this is a possible booger. You look at this. Larry, I'm going to find in my email, I've got my animal library on a different computer. But I'm going to find in my library where we have
a barred owl.
And but look at this. This is why that being frequency, it goes up to 417. This is in that range.
Right.
This is good stuff, Larry. Can you believe we're sitting here doing this live and finding possible booger vocalizations, one that's apparently mimicking an owl? And then you just told me that Carrie had a possible sighting at this location there.
Yep.
This is great stuff. Let me just pull this up, and I'm going to put this at 1,000 instead of 2,000, and we can get a better view of it.
Yeah.
We see, Spencer, we don't see any.
Well, and if I could make a point also on all of the owls, and not just owls, but owls, crows, whatever bird you're talking about. Normally their vocal signature, whenever they make the call, it's literally identical every time that they make the call. There's no variation in it, and not from the same bird anyway that's doing it right then. With this one, you can actually see slight variations in the call. That, and I mean, the frequency is just so low, and it so eerily looks like the type of vocal signature that is traditionally associated with a booger. It's just a shorter version of it, but you see those variations in between those three calls that are on the screen. Normally a bird doesn't do that, at least in my experience.
Let's see. It's not going to allow me to this one here that we played. Let's play it again, Larry.
The previous one with the sound?
The previous one with the sound.
All right.
Okay. You're going to need to take one of them down. And I am going to
well, if I kick it from the studio, it's going to kick you.
Okay. Let me
the one we did at LBL where me, you, and Mike went in there to retrieve the recorder.
Yeah.
That shows me doing owl call, I believe, and a real owl. But I don't know if you've got that handy or not. I don't. But I did a better job on the spectrograph with the owl mimic than this booger did on the one that Carrie shared with us. I at least got a little echo out of mine, and that was just within the range of a possible booger.
I got stuff popping up I need to get rid of.
But the point is, they do this with owls, they do it with coyotes, they do it with every animal they come across. They'll mimic them. And when you're in the woods, they're halfway convincing unless you can catch a little discrepancy in the call, or the volume don't sound exactly right, or it sounds a little deeper than normal. But a lot of times you're unsure till you go back and you put the audio clip on the spectrograph and you can look at it and see the difference.
Okay, do you have something shared now? A graph?
Like this one?
Okay, I can't see it. If I do it, then you'll lose it.
Yeah. It's an owl on a spectrograph.
Okay. This is a bar owl. If you notice that the bar owl, the frequency signature starts at around 279, and we can see it go all the way up to around 4,000. And if you look at a lot of your owls, no matter what species of owls they are, they kind of look like upside down V's stacked on each other. And so you see that going across all of these. This is where it extended the call, and then like you see the trill right in here. But you can see that when we pulled up Miss Carey's captured audio on Sonic Visualator, it looked nothing like this. You had it all stayed down in here in this range of 300 to 400, and that's what we're looking for. There was none of this,
Right.
so
And
man,
if you record a live owl 99 different times, the live owl is going to look just like what you're seeing here.
Yes.
The frequency may change a hair here or there, but the look of it on the spectrograph is going to be the same on every owl you see.
Spencer.
That's what Mark told me anyway.
Well, Spencer, would you concur with all of this that we're seeing?
I would 100%. I think that clip that you played from whoever sent it in, that's it's kind of shocking to see that just thrown up there without anybody looking at it ahead of time. And it, to me, I mean, that it's impressive. You can't call it a booger 100% for a fact, but if I had to guess, that's what I'd chalk it up to.
Well,
I'm just a little dumbfounded by it, because it does sound like an owl, and
that's their job.
but yeah, and
And,
that's pretty cool.
and that goes to show you, pound for pound, this is why audio is so vital, is because to your ear, that may sound like an owl or, a cow or whatever. But whenever you can actually see it and you can tell that it's not giving the same vocal signature, I mean, then that throws it into a whole different area that people really can't argue with. You can't say that it's definitively a Bigfoot, but you can say, okay, well, it doesn't match any other owl that's ever been recorded. And, that gives it some credibility. A lot more than, just a blurry photo.
Even with a human and a Bigfoot, a human mimicking something is going to be a drastic difference between a human mimicking something and a possible Bigfoot mimicking something. And anybody that knows anything about a spectrograph, it's easy to see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of the audio and the spectrograph. You can visually see the audio, and the visual is a whole lot easier to pick through than the listening with your own ears. And that's hard to believe, but it's true.
I'm just going to say the word enthusiast. One of an enthusiast's greatest weapons in his arsenal is recording audio. Being able to capture what happens in the woods while you're not there, it can aid the researcher and focus in on his efforts. Compared to other equipment that a person can purchase, audio recorders, or they're inexpensive and the software is free. You can pick up an audio recorder at Walmart for $60, or you can buy them off eBay for half that price. And it's just a great tool to have. And, a lot of people ask us, well, where do we set our recorders out? And it doesn't really matter if you're a beginner or if you're a seasoned, researcher. The topographical map and a recorder can help you narrow down an area to start exploring. And, the ability of knowing what happens in the woods while you're not there for 100+ hours. I mean, that's simply priceless. And it can tell you where you need to focus. If you leave that recorder out for a week and nothing happens, then you might want to go to another area that you have spotted on the topographical map and find and set your recorder out there.
That's definitely, people that their woodsmanship's not that great, their tracking abilities or whatever, you can set out a recorder and you can go and you can get it and you can listen and you can pick up sounds that are possible Bigfoot, and you can go through the spectrograph just like we did and decide whether it's a possible Bigfoot or the real animal or whatever. You can research with a recorder and get some good evidence, where if you're not able to hike 12 miles through the mountains or whatever, if you have suspected activity around your house, set your recorder out in a place that the normal day-to-day noise is not going to influence that much. You're not going to be able to totally eliminate it, but you know what your daily noises are, and go back and listen. And if you think you got activity, you're going to hear footfalls in the middle of the night. You're going to hear vocalizations. You may hear a mimic of an owl, a donkey, a cow, anything. They've been known to mimic you calling your dog.
Yeah.
People have heard that. Or calling your child.
And it gives you insight into other things, such as anytime I've ever recorded anything that could possibly be a Bigfoot. I've also recorded coyotes in the area. Now, I've never recorded anything possibly a Bigfoot without there being possible coyotes at some point throughout the night. And like in my area, what that tells me is, I don't know it for a fact, but are Bigfoot possibly following the coyote, or the coyote possibly following the Bigfoot? But one thing I know is the odd noises that I get kind of go hand in hand. Or like one time I was capturing what was an odd whistle, and I started paying attention, and I could hear that the whistle would happen approximately 3 to 5, 6 seconds before a car would drive by on the road that was, about a quarter mile away from the area that I was recording in. So was that whistle being caused, was something whistling to let other things know that, hey, here comes a car? I mean, all of that kind of stuff, you know, it gives you a broader picture. If you just put out a game camera that's pointing in one area, you know, and you're not getting audio or anything with it, if nothing shows up on the game camera, that's it. But with the recorder, you're capturing sound all the way around it, and it can paint a bigger picture than just a camera can.
Right. And they don't seem to be as leery of a recorder as they are a camera for some reason. All right, Mark.
Well,
Hilton Whittlewood wants to know if you're listening to Mark Z's audio, and can you talk about any of it? I'm sure he's talking about from the outing, the 168 hours.
Hilton, I don't know if Zasky set out recorders, but I set out recorders, and I am in the process of reviewing those audio files, and I have captured some things, but let me say this, that if you are analyzing audio, you need to analyze it second by second, and you figure that we were there for a week. So we've got over 140 hours of audio, and the right way to do it is to send it to Shelly. Let her do it.
That's the easy way.
But the right way to do it is to listen second by second, so that you don't miss something. There's so many times something will happen that's under the ambient sound that's out there, whether if it's crickets or whatever it is. And so you need to actually be listening to it and looking at it on the spectrogram, just as what we saw a while ago, because that if somebody would have just posted Carrie's audio, I'm talking about Carrie, the lady that sent us the audio today, if somebody would have just posted that and on YouTube and played that audio, she would be bombarded with disrespectfulness, saying, "Lady, that's an owl. You've got to be stupid." You know, and when we pulled it up on the spectrogram, we saw that is not an owl. I can't tell you what it is because I didn't see it actually make the vocalization, but I can tell you that is not an owl.
All right. Kevin Parker wants to know what are some decent make and model suggestions. And Mark, you can start high, and Spencer can go medium, and I'll end up with the best one you can buy.
Well, I'll start low, and this is a different.
Don't start low.
Why?
No, go ahead, because that's the only one I'll ever buy is low one. I ain't ever buying no high one.
Well, I am partial to Sony's, and it's just because I am more familiar with them. The Olympus, they make great recorders. Larry has had them, and they're good recorders. And the ones that I have, they have a different model number now, but they're basically the same recorder, and it's the Sony ICD PX333. Now, I would say buy any recorder that you want to. And the important thing is to make sure it records at least in MP3 file format.
Yes.
A lot of your $20 recorders will not record in MP3, and you need at least MP3 in the file format. And like I said earlier, you can get these recorders at Walmart for $60. You can get them off. You can get a refurbished one off eBay for $30, and they are great recorders.
And when you lose them, they don't hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Because I lose them a lot. Here's a question for you and Spencer, Mark. It's from our buddy Scott. Is there a way to remove ambient sounds like crickets? Didn't you go over that with him about 20 minutes ago?
Yes.
You're going to have to take a ruler and slap his hand.
No. The way to do it is to go to your high bypass filter and set your limits to like 1200, and it will remove everything from 1201 on up. And that's how you can remove insects.
Bama's talking to you on this one. Larry, do you wonder if the boogers are recording you now? They may be mimicking me, but they're not recording me, I don't believe.
Unless they found one of your lost recorders.
That's true. Yeah.
and some batteries.
Oh, mercy. Larry Metzer says the boogers have an eBay account. They may do it with all the recorders I've lost. They're making bank. That's all I know. What am I up to? 5?
Yeah, something like that.
That's $250.
Yeah.
Plus a $600 flare. Man, I'm losing.
Shelly, put that PayPal account up there now, that link.
Yeah, I'm not coming out ahead. I guarantee you that. Who's your Squatch? Larry, have you recorded Mark snoring? Only on every outing. No matter what's going on. Boogers walking around the camp or whatever, Mark's snoring. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, I tell you, Rodney Beasley helped me out with that. So it's not near as bad as what it used to. Now Larry even bunk up in my tent with me when it's necessary.
That's just a spoon, though.
It's only when it's cold.
Well, we don't really have any more questions here, but I hope y'all learned something a little bit about audio and the importance of it. And hopefully Carrie has watched this and sees that she possibly recorded a booger there.
Why don't we just show let's see, this audio. Can you remove the audio and leave the spectrogram one up?
Not without kicking you out of the studio.
No, it ain't gonna.
Yeah.
Hold on. I just removed it. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Now, let me think.
There you go, Mark. Carrie said thank you for doing this.
Well, you're welcome.
I have a 30-second delay on everything, but there it is.
Okay. Let's see. I want to show this audio. This is...
Oh, that ain't it.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, Bama wants to let you know he's painting his toenails. All right, you want this one added right here?
Yeah, let's add this. This is the frequency signature of what Carrie believed of hearing owls. And we can see that this is in close to a 400 band frequency. There's 4 different ones that I pulled for example. And we can see this here. And they're all in the 400 range. Now, let me, I don't know how, let's see. I'm going to have to stop sharing that. And I want to share the Chrome tab. All right. This is what, I'll let you put that up there.
It's up there.
Well, this is what the frequency signature of an actual owl looks like. And we kind of went over this. They kind of look like upside down V's that are stacked on one another. They start out in the 175 range, and they go all the way up to about 4,000. And we did not see that when we analyzed this live on just a few minutes ago. So if you're tuning in late, go back and check us out, because it was it surprised both Larry and myself, that because I hadn't listened to it yet, and I asked Larry about the clip, and that he would have to ask for permission that we listen to it. And Larry says, well, it's just owls. And it sounded like owls.
Well, I just meant that it wasn't a howl or something, that it was owls. So if it was really an owl or a mimic, it wouldn't be that big a deal. And it turned out to be a mimic, which is a big deal. So there you go. Hoosier Squatch wants you to tell him what the frequency signature of a booger.
Okay.
Or possible booger.
It will be in between 300 hertz. Okay, take his writing down, Larry.
Got it.
And let me take this, and let me, I can't blow it up now for some reason. Is it blowing up?
No.
Okay. Well, the frequency signatures, can you see my cursor?
No.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. The frequency signatures will be in this neighborhood right here.
Which is 500.
Yeah, between 300 and 1,000. So, and it will kind of look like this line a little bit. It'll be different than this line.
Yeah.
But it won't go down that far. But it'll like start here, it'll rise up, and then it'll come in about into here. So
human male usually goes around $700-800 to $1,200, don't it?
Yeah, it'll go to 8 to 12,000, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may be able to pull one up. That's not it.
Now, Hoosier, just know this is possible because we've not actually videoed a booger making a noise and took the audio off of it and put it on the spectrogram.
Larry, did that pull up on the screen?
Yes, it's there.
Okay, I'm going to enlarge it. Now, here is a bar owl, and you can see this one. It has like the upside down V's that go up to the 4,000 level. This is Larry. This center one is Larry mimicking an owl.
And I'm better than a booger.
And his look like upside down V's, but these keep going higher. You see these stop in here, and Larry's actually, if I was able to pull the whole thing up, it would go up to about 8,000 hertz.
It's
and
a vocal range I got.
And this one here on the right is a response call that Larry got to this mimic that was captured here. And you can see these look an awful lot like Carrie's, what Carrie sent us today. And they're, 400 to 500, maybe raise up to 600 or whatever. But that's a real good example.
And that was at LBL, that right there. And Carrie's was way up in Ohio.
Yeah.
I believe. And I don't think the owls migrate that far, do they? They usually have a home range.
Yeah. Yeah. They're usually where they're born at. They don't go no further than 30 miles, something like that.
Well, man, it turned out better than I expected. I expected an owl. And it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
Carrie got us on that one.
It's pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And she was right. She said it sounded like a 800-pound owl. Evidently,
yeah,
it was a 800-pound something or another. So I don't really see any more questions. Spencer, we appreciate you coming on here tonight because my audio expertise is.
Well, I don't have any expertise. I send all my stuff to Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After I look at it, I send it on to Mark and Shelley.
Well,
as long as Shelley gets it, you're okay.
That's kind of our protocol, and always has been with Sawdust Beast. Is if somebody sends us an audio clip, I will send it out to at least 3 analysts. And we're real careful that we don't insinuate that, hey, this might be or whatever. We just want that analyst to look at the evidence and base their opinion solely on that evidence, and to write out some short notes of what they think it is. And then I take them and then I compare what all 3 analysts think that it could possibly be out there. And I just think that's a good way to do it. And
in fact, Mark's emails don't say who it's from, where it's from, what it could be. It's just, hey, take a look at this. Tell us what you think.
Yeah. I may send a picture or a video. I will usually ask the person, do you have any pictures or videos of the area where this was captured at, because that kind of helps for you to get in your bubble. If you're just not listening to any sound, just only a video only, and actually seeing what the terrain looks like, gives you an idea about echoes and ambient noise. And it just kind of helps allow you to get inside that bubble.
Right. Carrie B says, I'm happy you guys looked at that because I wasn't sure if they were around this time of year, so this helps a lot. Well, we appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Letting them analyze it and letting me say it. That was wonderful. All right. Well, Memorial Day is coming up next week, so we will not have a show next week on Memorial Day because it's a day to remember our fallen heroes. It ain't a day for us to get on here and act like slackjaws, so we're not going to have a show next week. And we hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend and takes time out to remember those who have given everything for this country. And if you're in a different country, I don't know, you probably got your own version of Memorial Day for those countries too. It may not be this weekend. But here in the United States, it is this weekend. So we do have a show Thursday night. Mark, what you got coming up?
Well, we kind of specialize in audio, and I get all the time people sending me pictures or videos of something and saying, look at this booger I captured. And when you look inside the red circle, you know, you see that blurry, pixelated whatever. But on this Thursday show on Beast TV, we are fortunate to have someone that is an expertise in videos and cameras and what you should use. And
Cool.
This is a field researcher that goes out and is actively going out there, who has bought equipment based on what he believes can give him the best picture of a booger. So we are just going to pin him to the wall with questions. And so for those of us that do go out in the woods, hopefully this show will help us all, because we all need help.
No doubt. Spencer, you got any final words?
No, I'm just glad Mark's got a show planned a whole week ahead of time. You know, that sounds like the way to do it.
It ain't.
It ain't.
This free balling makes everybody so relaxed, and you just come in and go with the flow, and it's just a wonderful thing, you know. What the dude from the 18 say, he loves it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Oh, me. Yeah, Mark, about an hour before the show, said, what are we talking about? And I'm like, if you hadn't have texted me, we probably wouldn't have been talking about nothing. Spencer done been harassing me for 2 hours this afternoon. And I said, well, you're coming on. And they thought I was kidding. All right. Well, we're going to get off here and let everybody get a good night's sleep because we got a lot of work to do this week. I got to move in about another week and a half.
Ooh.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Uh-huh.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I will. You'll be there. Anyway, folks, I ain't heard from a new landlord, so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully everything's good.
He probably watched one of these videos and he's not going to rent to you now.
It could be true. Well, we'll go ahead and get off here before it happens. All right, folks, everybody have a good night, and we will see y'all Thursday night on Sawdust Beast. And don't forget Moog tomorrow night at 9 on Tuesday, right?
Right.
All
Central
right.
time, 9 o'clock Central time.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Not